Welcome to Studio 23 Nashville with your hosts Jennifer Herron and Brian Cumming, and today's very special guest, David Ball.
Well, welcome to Studio 23 Nashville, hanging out in the living room with David Ball, in case you didn't recognize him without the hat.
Yeah,
so
where is the hat?
You've answered one question. Plenty of hair under that hat.
Yeah. Everybody wondered.
Yeah, a redhead.
Of course,
too.
this is just toupee.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But it looks real, doesn't
Yes. Run our fingers through it.
it? My hair, your same color as Jennifer?
You know, Dan
Red?
Seals once told me something. He said, I love redheads. And I said, oh, you look for trouble, don't you? And Dan Seals told me this. He said, I'll never forget. He goes, no, that temper thing, that's just a bunch of baloney. Redheads are just more passionate about life.
Is that it?
So remember that, yeah.
Could be.
Uh-huh.
All right.
There you go.
I do, yeah.
So what do you call yourself? Everybody thinks you're from Texas, I guess, because of the style of music and the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
But you're from South Carolina.
I was born in South Carolina, but I went to Texas as soon as I could.
Uh-huh.
And once I got there, that was it. But, you know, actually, they're very similar. The people in Carolina, the people in Texas are very much alike. And I just had a great time out there. And, you know, we played all the nightclubs that we could stand and never had any trouble. Never had any trouble. They're fun-loving and, you know.
Did you keep them dancing? That's a big thing in Texas.
Yes. Now, when I first went out there, I was in kind of a folk, and there was no folk scene going on out there. The remnants of the Rubaiyat in Dallas, which is where, you know, Michael Martin Murphey and a lot of people came out of Dallas. But we were sort of different, you know. I played upright bass, and we were doing like North Carolina, South Carolina Doc Watson, a lot of fancy finger picking, flat picking guitar, and, you know, a lot of singing, a lot of vocals, and, you know, kind of heel bit. But once I got out there and started hearing, you know, after we play a gig, I'd go to a nightclub or something like that, and I'd go, good grief, you know, there's 9 people on stage. They got 3 fiddles on stage. And I just couldn't believe it. I loved it. I just went, you know, crazy. And the bands were so great, and the rooms, and people were scooting around, and I was like, you know.
It's a different world, kind of.
It was its own thing. And I just loved it and got to see a lot of great music out there, and it was just wonderful. It was wonderful.
Now, you brought up Uncle Walt, was that right?
Yeah, this is the band he did in Texas. It was Uncle Walt's band.
Uncle Walt's band, Walter Hyatt, Champ Hood, and me, and we were a 3-piece, but we went through different changes. We had a fiddle player for a while.
Did you ever have a drummer?
We had a little snare drummer, and that kind of helped. And we kind of did, you know, being on the upright bass, we did, you know, it was kind of some rockabilly and just folk and kind of 50s type stuff.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, a lot of original. We just kind of did everything. And I think we were so different. There was not a band out there that I think that was doing the 3-part harmony that we had. We really had that family blend. We kind of grew up together in Spartanburg. And after school, that's what I did in about the 10th, 11th grade, 12th grade. Go over to Walter's house. He lived in a log cabin. Can you believe that? And we would sit over there and drink coffee and sing harmony. And that's I learned how to sing, you know, that kind of really, you know, those guys showed me a lot. They were a little bit older than I was, and we had a great time. And then took off. Went to Nashville for a little while, and then met people that were doing the Kerrville Folk Festival circuit and all that stuff. You got to come to Texas, man. Come on.
Yeah.
And we did. And it was fantastic. But we played a little coffee house, and, you know.
Was it called Uncle Walt's band back then?
Uh-huh.
Because Walter just kind of had this persona.
That was Champ's idea. So yeah. I think there was a jar of Uncle Walt's molasses.
Okay.
So it was.
Oh.
Did
Uncle Walt's band record with a label or anything? Did you release anything?
We did our own in 1973. One of the first bands down there, and we
Cassettes
recorded
at the time, or what?
No, it was an LP.
It was LP. Okay.
We did an LP and put it out, in Austin and sold it off the bandstand, and that, you know, it was a great promotion device, and it helped in Austin. It started getting us the bigger concert type gigs and playing for more people, and this is like 74 by this time, and Warner Brothers Records took a real interest. Ry Cooder and people like that, and but it, you know, Uncle Walt's band was brilliant, and then the other side of the coin. You know, we could go play a gig that we couldn't get our shoelaces tied. You know, it was just like, what, you know, very like this.
Okay.
And we enjoyed playing music, but you know, the business side of it kind of evaded us.
Yeah.
And so.
You covered several genres there. You were talking about, you know, the country stuff you did, maybe a little swing and stuff mixed in, and then pulled back into the folk music.
Right.
And that seems to be the umbrella that they call Americana now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got into country music, and I was very fortunate through Jimmy Rogers as a folkie, see? Then from Jimmy Rogers, Bob Wills, Lefty Frizzell, Merle Haggard, all this time. And then I was working a little bit down there too, and they had that country radio on all the time, so I was hearing a lot of contemporary country. But back then, you know, it was Johnny Rodriguez, and, you know, they were playing all kinds of stuff on the radio down there in Austin. It was a music town.
Yeah.
And so that band was kind of different. We were different, and people responded, you know, to it. It was great. I loved it.
And you were writing songs as well?
Yep. Started writing songs a long time ago, and Champ and Walter both were writing, and you know, just playing them, and you know, we just did whatever. We did whatever.
Did you get some airplay in Austin for that?
Yeah. The KUT was the college, and you know, it was a big college town, but, you know, for the most part, then we would tour. We would go to Houston, we'd play San Antonio, we'd go to Dallas, and we'd go to Fort Worth, and just wherever. You know, people would hear us, and then we'd get hired to play, you know, some parties.
Debutante party, yeah.
Yeah. Weddings. We did a lot of weddings, and just, you know, parties. And you know, Texas is great because you outside, you know.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 at some of this stuff, you're playing outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes and
No mosquitoes.
Hopefully it's just not 100 degrees, right?
It cools off at night.
Yeah.
The moon is big. The stars are bright.
Deep in the
heart
heart of Texas. We love
Yes.
it.
love that.
But the festivals in Texas, seriously, go all day. I mean,
yeah,
it's from
yeah.
early in the
Oh,
morning with the parade and all the activities and the music until like 2 in the morning. I mean, these aren't like 4-hour festivals. They go on and on. So, yeah, there's a lot of outlets there.
Yeah, I loved it.
Seems like a great preparation for Nashville. I mean, it seems like Austin's more wide open, and you got so much blues, so many bands.
Yeah.
And the Western swing was a very real thing, very appreciated.
Right. I was just discovering a lot of that, and kind of jazz and swing.
Well,
And that was real suited towards the Uncle Walt's setup. Even though when we first got together, we didn't play any of that. You know, Walter's father was a big music guy, and you know, so we'd all heard it. You know, we grew up. You hear Louis Armstrong all your life, and you know, so we would try anything. And that swing stuff, the guitar player was really hot. He was hot. And so you know, we're playing Django Reinhardt and that kind of stuff way back in 74. We cut Undecided on our first record in 1974. Great.
You remind me so much of Doug Green from Riders in the Sky. You know, I know they're noted more so for Western music, but he knows all styles of music, and he is so knowledgeable on the different players or people who were innovative in the different sounds, and you remind me of that. You have quite the background, though. Your mother was very talented in music, right?
She studied to be a concert pianist and was fantastic. and studied in New York. She taught in New York, and then she did a USO tour right at the end of World War II that lasted, I don't know, a year and a half. Went everywhere, all through Japan, and I still have some of her kimonos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How amazing.
Would you like to come over and see my kimono
I need to see your kimono collection, exactly.
Nobody has ever seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this would be something to show. And there's Facebook Live and all this stuff, but we need it on Studio 23.
I should. I have to find them. Some, it's pretty ornate embroidery work.
Very
I wish I could wear it, I wish I could make a big country western suit out of it. I probably.
Oh, now if you use the material,
She's got
it's
dragons
shiny,
on
the
it.
dragons.
She's got several of them.
Uh-huh.
She always loved that Japanese culture. She always had that kind of stuff around, and she played, but got married and 5 kids.
Oh my gosh.
Played a lot of music at the music club. She went to a school in Spartanburg that was a music college, and she stayed very active with that. And they would play. They would do 4 of them would get together and they would play Scott Joplin music, and that guy had something. You ever go back and listen to bum, bum, dum, bum, bum, it's the Sting or whatever.
Yeah.
It's amazing, his music.
So he was appreciated by these classical musicians.
Oh yeah.
Your mother among
Yeah.
them. Boy.
Yeah.
And you didn't pick up on that?
No,
The
I can't
classical?
do any.
Yeah.
I can fake it on a piano. I really can, but I don't have that. I don't know what that is. I'm really would be a trumpet player. Both my older brothers played trombones, and I could get something out of it, but it was a strange looking instrument. I thought it was very odd. It looked like something up under the sink, right? And all that kind of.
Yeah.
The tubing.
So my neighbor had came home when I was about 11 or 12, and I came home, and I remember it sitting on the ottoman in the house was an electric guitar laying there, and I just like, what?
And that was the magic.
That started it right there.
All right, we're going to talk about you making that journey to Nashville, which could be scary for some, when we come back on Studio 23 Nashville.
Hickman County, Tennessee. It feels a lot like home, or how home should feel. Come by, sit a spell. Soak in the goodness that inspired Minnie Pearl to write about this special place. Visit Hickman County, Tennessee's hidden treasure. Be the envy of the neighborhood. Make your friends jealous. Be the first on your block to get official swag from Studio 23 Nashville, Pinkerton Productions, and Brian Cumming. Just visit our store at the bottom of the page and order yours today.
David, it's a pleasure to have you here. I want to do a little romantic song.
You
think?
do?
Do you want to?
I do.
Maybe like something with an A major 7.
Okay, great.
If you come a little bit closer, I'll whisper in your ear the words that my heart wants you to hear. You see, he likes this moonlight, and he says the time is now. He's been thinking about what he wants to say. He just can't say it very loud, so please, just a little bit closer. I'll tell you what he's got in mind. bet your boots every word is true when he says I love you so. Just a little bit closer, I'll tell you what he's got in mind.
We're feeling so romantic. Yeah, yeah. Was that written by yourself, or
Yeah.
just in a mood for a groove?
Just
And
all lonely
Yeah.
down there, have a little dark closet, you know.
Yeah, you
There's
go into the
there's
writing
a
closet.
pan on the floor, a little bowl on the floor, and I get in there and work and write.
is that where the teardrops fall? In the
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, so is it a sad song? Actually, you're wanting to be.
No, no. I like happy music, but if
Yeah.
you can always have a sad lyric or
Yeah.
with a happy. I mean, it's just kind of a funky little song, isn't it? Kind of. It's not
Yeah, it is
It's
fun.
kind of romantic, really.
Do you do it in your shows, and do people?
No, I've never played this song, and I just came across it the other day, and I said, you know,
Let's do that.
let's do that.
Very cool. I like it.
It needs to
I
be
like
aired, or you know,
it. Like, okay.
yeah, like dirty.
Okay. Enough
No,
of that.
not like that.
Yeah, not like. Okay. Not, heck no.
Do you want to go there? Is that where we're heading?
This is a very special show. We have David Ball with us today, my buddy that I've played a few gigs with. Yeah. We go
got to
back.
do more.
I remember when I had just gotten here in Nashville, and this guy, Gene Pistilli, invited me to play with him, and you were the bass player.
Yeah.
And that's really how we met.
Yes, and see, that was back another kind of a trio, kind of doing Western.
Yeah. Very jazz flavored.
Yeah.
Gene is a very interesting Nashville songwriter who had a New York background. He actually was the founder of the original Manhattan Transfer. And he had written some pop songs.
Right.
Sunday.
Who recorded that?
Spanky and Our Gang.
Spanky and Our Gang.
Yeah.
Big
wrote-
hit, huge.
But he had a great Randy Travis cut with Too Gone Too Long, and but he had a real heart for jazz, and really had a great time playing with him.
All the good things about country music, Gene was a fan of. See,
Very special guy. But
How'd you
anyway,
get in
that was
with
so
them?
much fun. And
Yeah.
so I didn't know that you were a country artist
Yeah.
in the making. This is before you signed with Warner's.
is it right? Yeah. I was told that I should come to Nashville and pursue that. And I remember starting to get into the music that was coming out of Nashville in about 80. Ricky Skaggs, George
Yeah.
Strait. Ricky Skaggs was having hits on songs that I'd been singing in Texas, like old
Really?
Ray Price.
Yeah.
The Whites. Do you remember those early
Yeah.
records of the Whites?
Where they were turning around after that whole urban cowboy movement and
I-
trying to
it
be
was
less pop, more
Kind of
country. Yeah.
swingy and
Yeah.
country and
And that's what Randy Travis fits in with that, with the Too Gone Too Long. That's interesting. That's
yeah.
interesting.
And so I thought, this is it. This is some really good music. And I think Lyle had already come up, and he had cut and had a hit with, kind of a Texas dance hall swingish type song. You can't say swing in Nashville. So I thought, I'm coming. I'm gonna go up there, and at that same time, I'd sort of gotten an interest in a publishing situation, and so I came on up, and then I got a record deal right off the bat, but I couldn't get a record made. It was kind of a lesson in what not to do.
Yeah.
And then I sat around for about 5 years and starved to death.
Oh, no. Weren't you playing at Bobby's Idle Hour at one point? Was that you?
Yeah.
Just over there at the little place off Music Row, little building. Yeah.
What I was doing was 50s, the golden era. I love that. Webb Pierce, George Jones, Ray Price, that Hank Williams,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and I can hear that. I can hear that music in, of course, Merle Haggard and George Strait. That was the stuff I was listening to. And I loved all kind of stuff. I'd go out to the opera and watch Hank Snow, and I would just be like, I just loved it. I just thought he is so, that was the guy, isn't it? That's Merle Haggard's daddy, right? Is Hank Snow and Johnny Cash. I mean, he was
great.
something else. So anyway, that's the stuff I like. Melodies,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Well, it was years later when I kind of indulged my own swing impulses, and I had a swing band playing in a little restaurant in Nolensville, and I saw this kind of cool guy walk in with a baseball hat. And there was something about him that just seemed kind of like he knows something. And he had this cool chick with him, and it turned out to be David with his wife, of course. And he was loving what we were doing, and it kind of brought back memories of the playing with Gene Pistilli. I was indulging my swing impulses then.
Oh, Brian, you sounded so great.
Well,
sounded so great.
and so the band didn't know David, but I knew this would be. You want to sit in? And he sat in with us, and he sang
Oh, wow.
"September in the Rain." And my band was a perfect set for that. It was
Oh,
a
gosh,
perfect
yeah.
backup for you.
Yeah.
And we had a great time.
Yes, that was a great band.
You know what? We actually have a version of that. With you singing that song with us on video, we can just let the people see how much fun we had doing that. Can
Cool.
we do that?
The leaves of brown came tumbling down. Remember that September in the rain. The sun came out just like a dying ember. That September in the rain. With every word of love I heard you whisper. The sun came out and sang a sweet refrain. Though spring is here, to me it's still September. That September in the rain. With every word of love I heard you whisper. The sun came out and sang a sweet refrain. Though spring is here, to me it's still September. That September in the rain. September in the rain. That September in the rain.
Pretty good.
That's
I
true.
love it.
I don't think anybody in Nashville knows what a jazz fan you are, or a fan of the old standards.
Oh gosh, yeah. Anybody that songwriters, you got to go to that. You're just drawn into it.
It's classic
I'm a
stuff.
big fan of that.
That might be the way your mother's influence is present, because she was in New York, and we're talking about those New York writers, the standards that don't really get recognized in Nashville, but they are standards.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
Gershwin and or Cole Porter.
Well, Uncle Walt's band too. We knew all the songs. We'd listen. We created a huge.
cool.
First song they used to joke was, I would sing "My Shoes Keep Walking Back to You," which is an old country
Oh, it's a cool
standard. Yeah, they would do that tease.
Something I'd like to get your perspective on is the influence of Uncle Walt's band on Lyle Lovett. around Austin.
Yeah, Lyle talks about that. He talks about shows that he did that he was at. We opened for Ry Cooder at the Paramount one time, and Lyle talks about that show, and I'm like, we opened for Ry Cooder? What? And Lyle's like, yeah, and I got the background singers that were singing with Ry. They're working with me now, and I was like, Ry Cooder.
gosh.
I kind of remember that, but he refreshed my memory. You know, we got around a little bit out there, and we would open up for the Pointer Sisters. And Taj Mahal. We got to hang out with Taj Mahal a lot, and he would do this thing for us. He'd say, on the radio, he would say, well, every time I come to Austin and play, I like to get Uncle Walt's band to open up the show. And we did.
Yeah.
And then
did he play solo, or did he have some players with him?
No, he had the band and the straw hat that was like this big. And it was fantastic. It was fantastic. I don't know much about that guy, though. Where he's from or nothing.
I think secretly he's a professor.
Is he?
Well, no, I'm just guessing, but he knows so much about what he's doing. He's very knowledgeable.
He would get us to sing Everly Brothers back there in the dressing room. That's what he wanted to hear. And we'd sing all this Everly Brothers stuff, and we just had a great time back there playing. I think that was at the world-famous Armadillo World Headquarters in Austin, Texas, 1981 or 80 or something like
Taj
that.
Mahal. With Jesse Ed Davis, maybe?
I don't know. I don't even,
You know, Taj Mahal's album where Jesse Ed Davis played slide and he did Statesboro Blues was the influence on Duane Allman.
Is that right?
Yeah, Greg brought him a copy of that album when he had broken his hand and was using the Coricidin bottle to try out slide, and it was Jesse Ed Davis who was
I've heard of Jesse Ed. He played on a lot of Harry Nilsson stuff, I think.
He was happening in that.
Yeah, he was an LA session guy, right?
Yeah. So
Very
we're just
interesting,
I know
how
it
it's all
is.
connected. And it interests me, your passion, like when you talk about these different music styles or even jamming with him and showing up at a place here, in the Nashville area. After that 5 years you mentioned where you almost starved, it seems like you would have been turned off by music and thought, I'm done.
No, I kind of always knew I was going to get, because I got so close, but, I really, I knew I had a good record in me. And I thought that really sort of became the goal. That's all I really felt like I wanted to do or needed to do, was to put a big old hit record on the table. And so I did that, and then I went, there. Now it's your turn.
Yeah.
And that was thinking problem.
This took, me screwing around here for about 6 years. So you were telling me Thinking Problem was several years old. You had been performing it live in Texas.
Or before you came to Nashville.
Didn't play it. It was. I didn't play much anywhere in Nashville, but I would travel. I would go back to Austin and play. In a little bar band. We had a little 4-piece band. A big old pregnant gal. She passed the hat for us. We'd do pretty good.
Oh, that's a nice
barefoot. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Try that. Y'all to try it.
Yeah. Business tips from David.
I love it.
I bet you there are more hit songs that we don't know about that were performed for years before they got recorded, and they, the public becomes aware of it suddenly. But the song has been tested. One that I'm thinking of is "Boot Scootin' Boogie." Before Brooks and Dunn were ever formed, he had been performing. He had written that and been playing it in Oklahoma.
Sleep at the Wheel cut that song.
Yeah.
Before
I've never heard it, but I saw that they
Sleep at the Wheel had something on it.
We did 4 months with those guys, buddy. I know all their stuff.
Oh, really?
It's really got an Oklahoma flavor. That's where he's from in it. Right?
Yes.
And Kicks from Louisiana.
Yeah, that's a good mix there.
It is.
You can't beat that.
Oklahoma,
and those people
Louisiana.
out there love music, man. They love it. I loved playing out there, and having a big hit record, that opens up a whole different world, a whole different audience, and
What does that do for you? Are you still getting a check off of the songwriting? I guess the royalties.
Yeah.
For Thinking Problem. Does that secure you? Is that your retirement? You're still making a living off of it? What does it do to just have that one song?
It's kind of like a little bit of gravy over here. That's about it.
Oh, okay.
That you can
not.
dip your biscuit in.
Yeah. But it's good.
Uh-huh.
It's not old, salty old.
People will take your phone calls then with that one hit song.
I guess we work, you know. We don't really pursue it, and you know, we have fun. We figured out a way to do it and have fun. Now, I'll tell you, you have that hit record, but you know, I was out on a bus, not a real great bus. That thing went down the road, and we did a lot of, you know, just
State fairs.
fairs. We opened up for some, you know, different acts that, and we were under the, you know, we went all up in Canada, and
nice.
I never went to Texas. So
No,
you
you're
know,
kidding.
maybe no. We were just doing all this, you know, seeing the world and you know, making a little bit of money.
You
but
were
it-
popular in Texas. I do know
Yeah.
that, even though you didn't
Well,
play
when
there.
we finally got around to Texas, it was good.
Uh-huh.
But you know, I could have stayed.
Uh-huh.
I could have stayed down there because they had it all. And that's where that whole record came from. That came from being down there in Austin. Then I came up here and I just, you know, missed it and thinking about it and saying, I'm going back now, and I want, you know, and I would write a lot of this stuff, and you know, it was a big inspiration, you know, for me. And I got that guy like that, you know. And,
I love it.
Oh man, yeah,
Were people dancing at a lot in these shows? Was that?
yeah. That's
Is
what
that intentional?
That's
like,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
liked.
Yeah.
I came under the spell. That's the Baptist in me. I like the dance.
The
And
rebel.
It was, you know, great. It was great. You know, you know, you can put a lot of people in those big dance halls, and they, you know, they responded to Thinking Problem, and that whole record. We sold a lot of records down there.
Interesting. Well, we need to talk some more about your songwriting, some of your charity work, what you're doing nowadays, all that good stuff.
All
So
right.
sit tight. We'll be right back on Studio 23 Nashville.
Do you want to win friends and influence people? Don't buy a book. Advertise on Studio 23 Nashville. It's easy. Just contact us at studio23nashville@gmail.com.
Straighten up and find a right.
Now available, Come Out Swingin', the new CD by the Brian Cumming Jazz Quartet. Come Out Swingin' is available at studio23nashville.com and all major digital retailers.
Sing, come out swinging.
Come Out Swingin' by the Brian Cumming Jazz Quartet. Get yours today.
Thinking Problem is really a distinctive melody and idea. I mean, you couldn't write another song like it. The record company couldn't say, give me another Thinking Problem.
Oh, we got one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to hear it?
Sure. Is it a calculating challenge?
No, but it was similar. Jimmy Gilmer over there, when we were having trouble getting airplay after Thinking Problem, and he said, do that song. And I said, well, I can't. It's just like Thinking Problem. He went, exactly.
Oh, really?
You know, that philosophy. Give them, because they were all saying, is it another Thinking Problem? We put out a ballad after totally the opposite.
Yeah. Well, I sure like it, and I'm honored
Thank
to be
you.
right next to you with a guitar in my hands to play Thinking Problem.
Oh, Brian,
Oh.
get out of here.
Maybe now this is one we could treat with a little more. Have you ever done it swing?
I could try to swing it. You want to hear my cocktail lounge version of Thinking Problem?
How would Michael
Can we
Bublé do
dim the
it?
lights?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it.
No, there's
Oh.
only one way to do this song.
I know it.
Should I go get my hat?
Well, let's do it.
I
that
usually
way.
I've had about 2 or 3 beers before this song comes up in the set.
How many have you had now?
None.
Oh,
This is
okay.
stone cold, buddy. This is going to
Well.
be very difficult.
Well, let's just be
Man up.
professional. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Here you go.
I can't do it.
Yes, I admit I got a thinking problem. She's always on my mind. Her memory goes round and round. I tried to quit 1,000 times. Yes, I admit I got a thinking problem. Fill the glass up to the top. I'll start with loving her. Oh, but I don't know why I'm doing once a memory starts to flow, I can't stop with just one sip. Yes, I admit I got a thinking problem. She's always on my mind. Her memory goes round and round. I tried to quit 1,000 times. Yes, I admit I got a thinking problem. Fill the glass up to the top. I'll start with loving her. Oh, but I don't know when to stop. Oh, picking up. I keep on remembering how good it used to be, getting stoned all day long on my favorite memory. Yes, I admit I got a thinking problem. She's always on my mind. Her memory goes round and round. I tried to quit 1,000 times. Yes, I admit I got a thinking problem. Fill the glass up to the top. I'll start with loving her. Oh, but I don't know when to stop.
Do it again.
Pure country. And it came out in 92?
94.
94. And you would say it had pure 50s influence?
Yeah. Yeah.
The way you play it.
Lyrically,
sounds,
too. Lyrically.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
classic
They
drinking.
would write
recital.
kind of funny. George
Yeah.
Jones had a lot of, Love Bug and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Webb Pierce was a big
This
influence.
groove, it has a kind of a Latin
Yeah,
undertone.
yeah. When I do it, yeah.
Well, you're keeping great rhythm, and I can feel it. So it makes me want to move, but I just hear that Latin flavor that has come up a lot in those songs about the beach. But you go back to Benny King and Stand By Me or whatever. Those
Yeah.
it seems like pop music is what brought that Latin thing in. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, it
did
could
you
be.
find it in country though? That
I always loved that. I always loved that.
You can
in
kinda hear-
Texas, it's there. You hear
with
a lot of that.
the border there, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tex-Mex.
Yes,
No
exactly.
problem with the accordions and trumpets and like, yeah.
That-
But probably the more danceable, Mexican, whatever you would call, yeah.
Mexicali Rose.
Anyway, David, this is a treat to have you here, man. You're just
Well,
wonderful.
Brian, man, anytime I get to play with you, you just holler.
Yeah, you
Can I
are
want a
too-
Beatle? Can I do that?
Yeah.
So we've been talking a little bit to David Ball on Studio 23 Nashville about the songwriting. Do you consider yourself a professional songwriter, so to speak? I mean, do you write songs for other people? Is that
I'll
kinda-
tell anybody that I'm a professional.
I
I
love it.
will say that.
I
yes.
love it.
No, I don't ever nobody ever asked me if that.
But you don't take and write a song and then try to push it to get somebody else to record it. Is it all?
I will if I could,
Yeah.
but like it's kind of like the band. We just do it all ourselves. I made a record about 3 years ago, and it's got about 10 or 12 songs that I'd written. That song Tulsa is on there, and we just do it ourselves. And people can find us. We have a web presence, and we get out and play and do a lot of these sit down little Opry type. All over the country. They're
And
all
the
over
Grand
country.
Ole Opry.
And the Grand Ole.
And the Grand Ole Opry.
That's where I learned
yeah.
all my moves out there.
I'm telling you, I was pretty impressed. Glad to see you on that stage.
That
yeah.
was fun. I hadn't been out there really in a while, so that was good.
What is that latest album that you have out now?
It's called Sparkle City, which is a nickname for Spartanburg. That's what the locals would call it, Sparkle City, because of the Sparkle Tones. Was a rockabilly band that came out of Spartanburg and had that song Black Slacks, and they were on Ed Sullivan in the 50s. A lot of music came out of Spartanburg, you know. I mentioned Hank Garland, the great guitar player.
Yeah.
Masha Tucker Band came out of Spartanburg.
That's right.
And, you know, Freddie Green. You know, Freddie Green's from Charleston.
Is that right? Oh, from Charleston.
South Carolina.
Marshall Chapman.
Marshall Chapman is from Spartanburg. We used to crash at her apartment when we first came up here till somebody that burnt the candle all night long and it melted into the carpet. And
She decided it was too much trouble.
I love you.
No more candles.
Marshall's great. Yeah.
I hope you've gotten more responsible. I hear you're a granddaddy.
Yes, I am. I'm
how
trying.
exciting.
It is.
So
Oh,
fill
it's
us in.
amazing. Well, she's a pistol. Okay?
Oh, she's redheaded then?
No.
Oh.
She's she could be though.
What's her name?
Her name is Palmer.
Palmer.
Yes. Yeah.
South Carolina palm tree, right?
Yeah, her father, his grandfather's name was Palmer.
Okay.
And so that's her name. And she's, you know, they're so smart. She's got
Are
to
you
be 20
sharing
months.
music with her?
A little bit, but
Okay.
you know, look, with her, it's kind of like you just let her figure it out. She's got a little dance move though that it's kind of like this or something. It's pretty good. I like it. I'm going to start. Does that look right? Yes, I admit it.
Bet if you did that
got
on
a
the
twitching
Opry, they would
problem.
do that. Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to start doing it.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, she's a booger, yeah. So, yeah, my wife does all of it. I can't even sit here, you know. She does. She has her. We'll have her tomorrow.
She makes the cornbread.
So we lay around on the floor a lot and bang on pots and.
Is that what you do
What it's
as a
like-
granddaddy? Yeah. And what does she call you? Is it granddaddy?
I think she calls me Pop Pop.
Pop. Okay, Pop
Pop.
Pop. I hear you're quite the cook. He mentioned cornbread. We let that pass. Tell us about this cornbread
That's
recipe.
my wife
Okay.
again. She cooks spinach cornbread. It's a great recipe. I know it's got cottage cheese, cornmeal, and spinach, onions. Brian puts all kinds of stuff in there, though. He adds.
Spiced it up.
I knew I had a
He
special
jazzed
recipe.
it up a little bit.
Dude,
like
you and me,
gumbo.
they used to be. Yeah, gumbo cornbread.
You two need to write a song. I feel like
We
coming
need to
on.
open a
it's
restaurant.
coming on. It's coming on.
Yeah, but I can get us some music to play. That's what you
Hey,
we'll build a stage first.
I
in
can
the
get
kitchen.
some neck bones.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh. He's having too much fun. This is wow.
I know, it really
Woo.
is. And you didn't expect this from David Ball, did you?
Why?
I did not expect
Jennifer.
all these musical styles. I didn't expect all of this. I just
Well, you know, it
didn't.
all comes down to Jimmy Rogers.
Yeah, it does.
You know, I used to play a Jimmy Rogers song in Austin, and somebody came up and she said, you know, you sing that Jimmy Rogers song, and I went out and bought one of his records, and it's really old. I'm like, yeah, and I'm yodeling.
Yeah.
I'm
Did
yodeling.
Jimmy Rogers come
yodel?
through Texas?
A little bit.
Would you yodel?
I used
Putting you
to
on the
do
spot.
The Mystery of Number 5. You know that song, Jimmy Rogers?
Okay, do that.
And you like polka music.
Yes, I do.
That's my new kick.
you mean
Okay.
polka now?
I mean, Scott Metco that drums with me, his father was Dick Metco, and big time polka music. They're all from up there in Wisconsin. And Texas has a huge
Oh, it's wild.
polka. This mariachi music, I always thought really came from the Mexican influence in Texas, but when you really hear the German, they're playing accordion and it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same music. I couldn't believe it. So
That is cool.
Yeah.
accordion and fiddle and
Clarinets.
Are you releasing a polka album?
I shouldn't I?
Oh, I would die.
Oh,
I would
my
love it.
God.
So there was this dance hall for sale down there called the Swiss Alp, and it was on eBay. And somebody said, yeah, there. And we'd played there, and I knew the place. I said, oh, man, that's a great place. And I said, what's the bid at? And they go, oh, it's at like $8,000. And I was like, are you kidding me? And so I found it, and but the bid was way on up there. But I don't think they sold it. They had like a reserve, you know. But I wrote them a song. I wrote a polka. It's my first polka to ever. No, I recorded a new Shiner polka on a CD, that Amigo CD. And I thought we'll call this Shiner polka because we go by the Shiner Brewery.
Oh, my grandpa was from Shiner.
Is that right?
Yes, Hallettsville, Shiner. My family
That's
comes
a good
from there.
part of the world.
That's
over
where
there.
my family
That's
comes
Lockhart's
from.
real near there, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. They used to have that big Shinerbach festival with Robert Earl Keen was a big name down there.
Is that right?
Oh, every year, yeah.
Well, at 5 o'clock they would open the tap and just let people sit out there and drink the draft, the best cold draft beer at 5 o'clock, and they would just leave it open for a half hour. And so I wrote them this Shiner polka, but there was we go to put it out, and there was already a song called Shiner polka, so we put new Shiner polka. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty good.
I'm telling you, there's a whole audience for this. We'll go crazy, hopping all over the place.
It's such
Do you know how to polka?
happy stuff.
Oh,
No,
it is.
well-
You just jump for joy. It's one,
Yeah.
two, three, 1, 2, 3. Hop, 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 hop. Yep, yeah. There you
Well,
go.
your Shiner polka is probably
You-
in 2/4.
We got to do this.
Is
There's
it similar
there's
to
some
a-
polka guys here, in town. Jeff Taylor, he can.
Yes,
He
who's
can-
with
he
the
can
Time
fly
Jumpers,
Time
and Joey with the Riders in the
Mishkala.
Sky.
Yeah.
That's what
Those are the best
Scott was
polkas.
so excited to be at the Opry because Riders in the Sky were on there, and he said, "Well, we got to stay around because Joey's going." But Joey wasn't there.
Oh no, Joey the Cow Polka King.
And Joey the Cowpoke King, Scott got to say, "Well, my dad's Dick Metco," and Joey fell apart.
Hail to
Came
the-
apart. So that was Scott was pretty cool.
Yeah. So a new chapter with David Ball.
Wow, polka.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward
Picture
to it.
Jimmy Witherspoon doing a polka.
Jimmy Witherspoon.
I
just,
I don't know. Is that too much of a mashup?
I don't know.
Lyle Lovett doing polka. That's what I want to see. Yeah.
I just like music. I like all kinds of music.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm ready for it. I'll hop around.
All right.
And America is where it all gets blended together.
Exactly.
The Germans came to Mexico. They brought their accordions.
I'm telling you.
Well, and they built these beautiful dance halls out there. They really did. There's something to see. They're huge, and it was an all-purpose hall for the community. But they also had live music in it.
Yeah.
The Swiss Alp you're talking about.
The Swiss Alp Dance Hall is one of those. Yeah, but there are a lot of them out there. A lot of them.
Historic. We don't want to see them lost. I'll have to look on eBay. Maybe we'll do a little bidding.
Riding on this airplane, flying machine, leaving Oklahoma, chasing a dream. Maybe it was crazy to pack up just like that and go. Hope I ain't wrong. I hope LA's glad to see me. Tulsa won't even know I'm gone. Got somebody's number, a friend of a friend. They got a place for me and my guitar to set in. 'Cause you never know who'll be out there at the show hearing my song. I hope LA likes my number. Tulsa won't even know I'm gone. Steakhouse on the bypass, I can do it in my sleep. But this time I gotta show them all what I got inside. Gonna pick up that old guitar and take it for a ride. side. Gonna pick up that old guitar and lay it on the line. Riding on this airplane, flying machine, leaving Oklahoma, chasing a dream. I hope someday they say some good things about me and my song. I hope LA's glad to see me. Tulsa won't even know I'm gone. I hope LA's glad to see me. Tulsa won't even know I'm gone.
I want to thank David Ball for joining us. It's been a great time,
Wow,
Brian.
polka. We've been enlightened here. This is,
Y'all play again together. You do that polka album, and
Yeah.
I'll be in heaven. That's all I want.
David, thanks so much.
Thank you.
This, man.
Thank y'all.
Great
Thanks,
show.
Jennifer.
See you later.
The Jennifer polka.
Yeah.